LA. Look at that one. I don't know if I've shared this one with you guys before, but I just want to make a quick stop so you can have a look at this one. This one, it's one of my favorite trees here on the property, and it's got a little bit of rot in the inside, but have a look up there. Yeah, you can't even see the top of this thing. See that thing? That's a beautiful tree. Have a look at me here. You guys can get an idea of the size. So I'm just about 6 feet tall, and I'm no slouch here. I think I'm just right around 220. And if you look at this tree, this thing is wider than I am, and I'm not going to say it, but it's certainly higher than I am. But it is one heck of a tree. Definitely worth admiring here. Gee, that thing's nice. Anyways, have a look in there. I don't know how this thing has been standing this long. We had that tornado roll through, and the tornado is probably only about, maybe 200 meters from here, and it would have had one heck of a blow on this thing, and it didn't even come down. Anyways, back to it. So, I am trying to get this cart going. There it goes. Okay, so, gotta get the suspension on this thing fixed. It's stiffer than an old Model T. Holy smokes. Anyways, I'm on a trail you guys probably don't get to see too often. This is a trail I use more regularly in the winter time. I've collected maple syrup up here, or maple sap up here to make syrup. It's also a good trail I walk the dog on, but this is a trail I don't do much work to. I leave all the trees alone up here. There's nice hemlocks and some oaks and maples and whatnot. Up here you'll see there's a few pine and that sort of thing, so I don't do much work up on this trail. And for those of you who see me cutting trees, you probably think, gee, that guy cuts down a lot of trees. Does he have any left? Well, I have a lot left, and this is just a prime example of a really nice mixed wood forest on my property here. And this is ultimately what my goal is for many of the other places that I'm cutting trees from. So getting back to a stage like this, where if you have a look around, it's got a big diversity of trees, is quite nice. It's also very good for wildlife, including insects, and it brings a lot of animals up here, which I like to see. So this trail, as I mentioned, doesn't get traveled that much. I don't bring heavy equipment down here. My tractor doesn't drive down here. This is pretty much a 2 feet and a golf cart and maybe the snowmobile, but that's just about it. So on my way, boy, that was a big one. Gotta ruin this trail or fix the suspension, one of the two. Anyways, as I was saying, on my way to the sawmill, sort of taking the back way here. Gosh, anyone own one of these golf carts? This is the Club Car Fairway Villager. This thing has the stiffest suspension I've ever seen. Gosh, this trail is almost not passable anymore. It's so rough. Anyways, what was I even talking about? Okay, on the way to the sawmill. We're going to the sawmill. I'm just about ready to ghost ride this thing into the ravine. Okay, on the way to the sawmill, if I don't hit another big bump here, heading out there because we had a really good pile of logs. I haven't got through all of them. Life's sort of getting in the way, like many of you guys are you know, aware of. There's all kinds of other priorities that pop up, and unfortunately sawmilling takes a backseat at times. So I am finally getting some time to get out to the sawmill, and I'm going to do that right now. As you can see, we're just bordering the red pine forest on my left, and we've come out of the mix. Saw that bump coming. I got brush under the machine. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna walk next time. I got back there. What was I talking about? Logs. I got lots of logs. You guys know this. I haven't got around to clean them up because life has gotten in the way, including many of my other projects, and it's probably my own doing. These projects I sort of decide to start sometimes without finishing the last project, and as a result I've got I'm at the sawmill. This is going to be my project for today. This darn cart here is going to be my next project once I figure out what I need to do to it. Anyways, let's get back to talking about wood. As you can see, here's what we're left with. This is what I'd cut last time. We got some nice poplar here, and we've also got some, what is this? Some spruce, it looks like. This stuff right here, this poplar, what I've been doing with it is cutting it into 3/4 inch thick pieces and setting it up here to dry. So we got a pretty good load right here behind me. This stuff is going to air dry obviously here, and then I'm going to take it up to the shop, run it through my thickness planer, and that will ultimately become some baseboard trim and window casing. One of my other projects. Anyways, I don't know when that's happening, but at least I got the ball rolling, so there that is. This other pile of lumber, as you can see, I tend to keep the tin on it to keep the rain and direct sun off it. But as you can see in here, we have a variety of 2x6. This is actual 2x6 material. This 2x6 is going to be used to build, hopefully, a new sawmill shack. And I don't know when I'm getting to that, so please don't expect a video next week of me building it, because it won't be next week, but it will be sometime. Knowing that I've got lumber sitting here waiting, drying, just helps to motivate me to get building. So I want to build a new sawmill shack. This thing's great, but I want it to be a little bit, you know, a little bit better. You guys always know the version 1 is sort of your learning version, and then version 2 ends up being the better version. Well, this lean-to here is version 1. I put it up quick. I put it up as soon as I got my mill. It's been up for a number of years. Well, I think it's now time to retire it and build something a little bit more maybe formal or better looking, with some of the nice siding that I can make with my new lap siding attachment, or some of the new boards I'm cutting recently. So that's the project. I don't know when that's happening, because I got a to-do list, and it's a self-inflicted to-do list that's pretty darn long. So anyways, I'm gonna bring you guys along today. I'm gonna put the camera on my head, and you guys can hear my commentary, whether you want to hear it or not. If you don't, just turn the volume down. But we'll saw some logs with my Woodland Mills, and you guys can listen to some of the things I'm thinking when I'm cutting. Sometimes I don't think at all, and that's when I end up cutting the log stops. But today we'll try to avoid that. I'll do a bit of thinking, focused on the project, no cutting log stops, and let's just hope everything goes smoothly. Anyways, let's go. Okay, here we go. So, getting back to the heart of the sawmill. As you guys can see, I got a big pile of logs here. These came down in a tornado. Little blurb, check out my other videos if you're interested in that. One thing I don't like to do is to leave logs sitting around too long. These I probably cut down, gee, it's probably been a month now. And so much longer than that, these things are starting to dry. And in my experience, maybe not so much with spruce and some of the fir trees, but in my experience with the red pine, if you let red pine sit, even like this, for too long, and I'm talking even a few weeks, you'll start to get bugs burrowing into them because the bark's still on it. And yeah, it definitely won't look too good on your lumber unless you're looking for that staining on it. Anyways, kind of an interesting thing right there. You guys see this? I know I'm not just talking about my sawdust, although there's a heck of a lot of it. Look at all that stuff. I'm talking about this. Look at that. That looks like a deer track to me. What do you guys think? Is that a deer track? Walked right through? Maybe. I have seen a fawn and a doe around, so maybe that's what that is. Anyways, I got to do something with this at some point. It's nice fluffy stuff here. But see that pile over there? Yeah, that pile is this stuff. And yeah, so I got to do something in the long term. I just get piles and piles of stuff and I don't deal with it. Anyways, another day. Let's focus. As you guys know, I don't like the bugs, so we're going to get those cleaned off first and foremost. And this engine is a beautiful thing. It's going to fire right up just like it has every single time, so I'm not concerned there. I don't know how much water I have in there. Hopefully I got enough. And I know you're supposed to untension the blade, but I forgot, and so it's ready to go. So let's yeah, let's get this thing backed up. And we'll get a log on here, and I can't quite remember what the deal was with this log. I think one of these big ones here had some issues. And I'm looking at it. This one looks okay. The center's got a little bit of cracking, probably from drawing. I don't see any visible issues here. That's from my grapple, that mark. What do we got there? That right there. Just looking for big visible signs where bugs have been into the log. I mentioned to you guys last time, you got to really be careful when you're cutting logs and hauling them out here, that you don't waste your effort. This log in particular, you guys see that? That right there, that right there. That's probably where little critters have gone up and down the log, insects, probably ants in this case. So that log will be garbage essentially. I'll be using it for firewood. This log, I think we're all right. Another thing you don't want to do is what I did. And what that is yeah, more or less letting it fall off the bunks, because I can't lift this thing. So we're going to be doing a little bit of fandangling to get it up onto the sawmill. However, I feel like I cut it recently, and that's the end. Unfortunately, I did that last time with that saw, and I can't remember why. You guys remember? I know. Okay, maybe because it had bugs in there, but it didn't go all the way up. Maybe that was my thing. All right, whatever the case might be, let's see if we can put this thing up here. Odds of this being successful, pretty low. I think this one's gonna be jammed in here good. Ooh, look at that, got lucky. We might just make it. Oh yeah. And if you haven't bought one of these yet, and I probably wouldn't buy this brand, I'm not going to mention what it is, but the wood broke on me quite early. And as you can see, I did some beautiful engineering work to get that thing working again, PL Premium and hose clamps. But this thing, a PV, if you had one that was good, you would definitely want to use it right now. And this one, although it's not perfect, is going to do the job. If I can get it in the right spot. There we go. No, come on back to me. And before you roll that up there, make sure you put the log stops up. Surprisingly, that worked. You guys done listening to me yet? Tired of it? Well, hopefully you're still there. Oh, this log's so short, I think I'm gonna have to put her up here. Okay. Good enough. That's not gonna work. Sort of in between here where I need to be. Okay, there it is. Oh, okay, well, there we go. Part of the battle. First cut, what are we making? That is give or take 13 inches. So let's take a good 2 inches off start. Let's make an 11-inch cut. And hopefully there's no bugs, and maybe we'll get some nice slabs out of this. Okay, cold start on a 30°C day. Almost. That's just about what I expected. And many people ask when their clutch is engaging prematurely. Here right now, you just hear the engine and maybe a little vibration there. Hear how it's just the engine? Well, listen to this. That right there. If you hear that at idle, when you do not have your throttle on, that is your clutch beginning to engage, and that will wear it out prematurely. Come on over here. And where are we looking? A little bit further. You guys see in there? Just look where my pinky finger is. Here. Right in there. You guys see that? There's a star in there, what do you call it, a star screw on the carburetor. That's your idle adjustment. Get that thing idled down just a touch until that ting's gone, and you're good to go. Okay, what'd I say, 11 inches? I think that'll be the ticket to start. Let's see what we got here. What the heck, let's do 11 and a half. There she be. Nice looking piece. Oh, for gosh. Ouch. Gosh sakes, get up there. Okay. It's gonna be beautiful. So we'll go with that. Probably what I'll use this for is not necessarily trim. It's so wide, I don't want to waste it on little trim. So I will probably cut this into 1-inch boards, and this will end up just being some nice furniture board at some point. I don't actually know what I'm going to use it for, but we'll cut her at 1 inch and we'll use her down the road. So what was that, 11 and a half? Let's cut 10 and a half, and then I'll flip it over probably. There, the wood is getting dry because it's been sitting out here, you know, for a number of weeks now, and the saw is working a little bit harder to cut through it. You can hear the engine revving up. When the wood is completely green, so like when this stuff is fresh off the stump, it actually provides lubrication on the blade. So get this cut as quick as you can after you put it on the ground with your chainsaw, and it'll be a bit easier on the sawmill. Not that it can't handle it. Anyways, that looks like a beautiful thing here. I think I'm gonna flip her over, and I crank it up 1 or 2 times before I pull it back. I just have been doing that since I got the mill, and that just makes it so it's, you know, never gonna touch anything on the way back, or I don't know, habit. So let's flip her over without it rolling off the mill. Do it. I just see a bit of dirt there on the bottom. This will dull your blade real quick. Hence why I like to skid logs in the winter. I think I've said that numerous times. Sometimes if I have to skid in the summer, which I did with this, I will pile the logs outside so the rain over the period of weeks can clean her off a bit. Obviously that's not the case here. Okay, we were at 10 and a half last time. Let's what are we gonna cut at? That one looks pretty good. What did I say, 10.5? Let's cut 9.5. Take an inch off this side. Make sure that lubrication's going. I like to watch the blade cut the wood. I don't know, it's one of the things I do. You guys might not do that, but that's your prerogative, right? Okay. What's that? What did I just say? 9.5? Cut her 8.5. Keep it simple. Keep your dimensions, you know, 1/4 inch increments, and you'll be laughing. See what we're dealing with. So this board here, it's got a little bit of softy in here, a soft spot there, a little bit of rot there. So this board is, I can feel the soft bit here, so I'm not going to waste my time with that. Let's get rid of it. And you can also see you got just a little bit of spunk here, or punk, or whatever, soft bit. Usually I just cut that right off, but here's the good stuff. So 8.5, take her down to 7.5. We'll save some wood out of that. And we'll go from there. What do you call it? What do you call this thing? What do you call that? I forget. Anyways, there we go. What do you call that? I forget now. It got stuck, so I didn't have it wide enough, and that's why I had to stop it and adjust it quickly. Anyways, here we go. Another nice piece here. Well, was a nice piece. This is what you gotta be careful of. See this right here? You guys see that right there? Not good. Have some burrowing insects rather. You can see a bit soft there. So there's still a lot of material here you can save, so we'll be doing that. I don't tend to waste anything if I don't have to. So let's leave that up there for now. This is no good. See that? Same insects right in that area there. That's gonna ruin your day. Soft. So there's some good wood here, but it's not 100%. So that's how it goes. Okay, 12 inches, let's see. And I probably should be setting a good example here, so let's set that and lock it in place. That's better. Can tell the blade's getting a little on the dull side. It's the engine's revving up a little higher than it did when I put the blade on for the first time. Nice cut of wood there, so that's going to be real nice. As you can see, a little bit of an issue there, but that's all right. gonna leave that for now. Let's flip her over again. Whew. One thing that's nice, and you guys, you know, you may or may not have this, the top of the bunks here, these what are these, stainless, I guess, stainless steel, I'm assuming, really makes the log slide nice, and something that I like. Anyways, let's get these out of here before we cut the top off. To be honest, I don't have a lot of big logs around, so I don't use those log stops too much. These are the ones I like to cut blades with. You guys see that one right there? That was a good day. Nothing like seeing sparks when you're cutting wood. I'm kidding, by the way. Sarcasm. Get up there. Okay. And you guys are right, I don't lock it in every time. I lock it in when it's, you know, has the potential to be not stable. I don't want it to rock at all. So that was a 12-inch cut. We're gonna see what we got now. You guys have a look. The log's about 12 inches because that's what I just cut. So we'll cut her down to about 10 inches there and see if we're left with 10 usable inches of wood. Let's hope. Take care of that pile someday too. So a little bit of deterioration here, but for the most part that's a nice piece of wood, so that's gonna be real nice. Now at this point I gotta decide, do I want to have lumber that is 1 inch thick, and whatever this is, that's probably 7 inches or 6 inches wide, or do I want it the other way? Do I want 1 inch by you know, 8 or so inches? To be honest with you, I'm not sure. What would you guys take? Long way or short way? Well, I think because I don't have the opportunity to get boards that are this wide all the time, that's probably the best thing to do. So we'll get as many wide boards as we can, and this is, what is that, 7.5 inches? So yeah, that's what we'll do. Inch increments, here we go. Forcing the engine to rev up, then just take her easy. Either that or switch the blade out and then go hard. Look at that, it's beautiful. Okay. Board right there. One thing I'm going to mention when I'm stacking this up to dry it like that, it is critical that you get this stickered right away. If you let this sit out here and it gets any drawing into it, you're probably going to see some cupping. See the rings of the tree? They're currently like this. This is flat sawn. See how the rings are like that? If you don't stack this, sorry, this thing will probably just keep right on cupping. You'll come back and you'll be not happy. That was 5.5, 4.5 coming up. just because I've done it before, I'm gonna go back and have a look at my old log stops. You'll see the numbers on the side. You guys see that there? Number 2, number 3, the next one says number 4. That indicates how far above that bed rail this is. If I can see a 4 clearly, that means this is higher than 4 inches. And I'm gonna hit it if I'm lower than 4 inches on the cut. Same thing with this one, but it looks like I'm good to go. All right, I think we did it, guys. We got some beautiful lumber there. Let me just shut this thing down. Okay, well, that's just one log, and as you can tell, well, now you can tell, I got a fair number of boards out of there. Those are 1x10s. Those are going to make some real nice, probably furniture down the road. I got some more work ahead of me. As you can see, I got to do some cleanup around here, so that's probably going to be coming down the pipe before long. Gee, just added to my list of things to do. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave you at that. As you can tell, for some reason it's raining now, but as you can tell, there's a lot of logs here, and you can get a lot of wood out of it. So in terms of value for what you get with the sawmill, you make the value up really quickly. I don't know what this stuff costs, but let's just say it's, I don't know, $5 at the store. We're here in Canada, so it's probably actually 10. But let's say this was $5 for now. $5. I think I cut 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I cut 4, 5, 6, 7. I cut that today? Yeah, I guess so. Let's say 6 good ones. Okay, that's $30. And you're probably saying, well, that's nowhere close to the value of that sawmill, and you're absolutely right. But I'm going to cut a lot of these logs today, so add up $30 by, let's say, 10 logs. Well, there's $300. And if you think about that, that's just one afternoon, and I'm only talking probably an hour or 2. If we add this up over the course of weeks and months, I've paid for this thing 10 times, 100 times over. If you're doing it for a little bit of a side business, maybe a full-time business, I don't know, you could definitely, you know, make your money up real quick. So this thing is definitely an awesome tool around here to have, and probably a real good tool for you if you're into making projects out of wood like I am. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep cutting logs, because I finally found some time to do so. I've got a few more logs here to cut, and then I got to get back onto my other jobs. I don't know what that's going to be, but yeah, I don't even want to think about it right now. I got so many of them. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate you listening to my commentary. Hopefully you didn't tune out. If you didn't, well, then you're still here, and you're still listening, I suppose. I appreciate all you guys being here. Come on back next time. See you then.